Welcome to LankanTutor Biology 2.5, where we'll be taking a look at lipids, the fats and oils that we've all come to love. So the thing you need to know about lipids is that they are heterogeneous molecules. Now, what a heterogeneous substance is, it's not comprised of the same kind of matter. For example, if you take hemoglobin in proteins, you realize that's also a heterogeneous molecule, because it has the polypeptide chains as well as heme groups. Lipids are insoluble in water and they're composed of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, phosphorus, and sometimes nitrogen. I don't think I'll need to give any examples for lipids because you already know what they are, but if you don't, butters and waxes and fats and margarine are some examples. The first thing you need to realize is that there are different types of lipids. But let's go into fatty acids first. A fatty acid is a long chain of hydrogen and carbon atoms, a hydrocarbon chain. Fatty acids may be saturated or unsaturated. The saturated fatty acids are completely straight. It just goes in a complete hydrocarbon group. And the unsaturated fatty acids are not exactly, they are still hydrocarbons, but it is not a linear arrangement. It is not completely full of hydrocarbons because it has double bonds. Because of the shape of this structure, the saturated fatty acids, the one which is completely covered by hydrogen, tends to be solids in room temperature, whereas the unsaturated fatty acids usually stay as liquids. So you need to remember that lipids are esters of fatty acids, and glycerol and three fatty acid chains, be it saturated or unsaturated, join to form a triglyceride. Triglyceride is the basic or the simplest form of lipids. So let's just recap what we've done so far before we get into it. Now remember, this video is not going to be so long because lipids are generally a small subunit. Lipids are heterogeneous molecules. They consist of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, phosphorus, and sometimes nitrogen. It is insoluble in water. Saturated fatty acids don't have double bonds and unsaturated fatty acids do. Now, if there are unsaturated fatty acids with more than two double bonds, it's called a polyunsaturated fatty acid. It's a heterogeneous molecule, so it's comprised of two parts joined together: the glycerol, the C3H8O3, and the fatty acids. The fatty acids could be a different chain depending whether they are saturated or unsaturated. Now, when these hydrocarbon atoms get broken down by enzymes, that's how we get energy from fats. And remember, the three fatty acids in the triglyceride molecule do not have to be identical. They could be identical, they could not be identical. There are different types of lipids, but we will be beginning on fats and oils. Now, how do you differ something as fats and oils? Generally, what's done is, if at room temperature it is a solid, it is considered as a fat, and at room temperature, and if it's a liquid, it's considered as an oil. Another type of lipid is waxes. The difference between waxes and a triglyceride molecule is that the fatty acids in waxes get joined to an alcohol molecule instead of a glycerol molecule. Waxes are usually hard solids at room temperature, and they provide protection and the ability to waterproof the surfaces of insects and leaves like cutine and beeswax. The next fat we're going to talk about is terpene. Terpene is something that we've all smelled, at least. The scent of flowers mainly comes from terpene. Next, we're going into a pretty important part. It is going to be the phospholipids. The difference in phospholipid is that instead of all three fatty acids joining with a glycerol molecule, two of the chains join with a glycerol molecule, and the third one joins with a phospholic acid. That's the difference between phospholipids and triglyceride. Phospholic acid. Now, why is phospholipids so important? It's because it's what makes the phospholipid bilayer. Now, if you don't know what the phospholipid bilayer is, It's basically this cellular membrane that pretty much covers everything. And another form of lipids known as cholesterol can be found inside the phospholipid bilayer. But don't worry about the bilayer. We have a pretty detailed part to learn about the phospholipid bilayer, but it's not in this unit. Even though I do believe it should be, it's in the organelles part where you have to learn about microstructures of cells. And finally, we have steroids. Steroids are the cyclic organic compounds which contain 4 carbon links. They could be cholesterol, bile salt, vitamins like vitamin D, and several hormones like testosterone and estrogen and progesterone. So that covers up what we need to learn about lipids. It is a fairly small unit because there's not much to do, but however, we will be going into nucleic acids next time, which will be rather long. So let's just do another recap of what we've learned in lipids. It is a heterogeneous group which is insoluble in water. It contains carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and sometimes phosphorus and nitrogen. It is composed of chains of fatty acids. If the fatty acids do not have double bonds, it is considered a saturated fatty acid. If it does have double bonds, it's considered an unsaturated fatty acid. If it has more than 2 double bonds, it is considered a polyunsaturated fatty acid. Glycerol and 3 fatty acids join together to form triglyceride, which is a simple form of lipid. Lipids are esters of fatty acids. And there are several types of lipids. It could be fats and oils. Fats are solid at room temperature. Oils are liquid at room temperature. Waxes are just like triglyceride molecules, except instead of glycerol, they have alcohol. Terpene is how you smell flowers. Phospholipids have 2 fatty acids joining to the glycerol molecule and another to a phospholic acid. And finally, steroids are cyclic organic compounds containing 4 carbon links like cholesterol, bile salt, vitamin D, and some hormones like testosterone, estrogen, and progesterone. So I hope you guys remember this, and we will be moving into biology 2.6 next, which will be about nucleic acids. If you did enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like, and if you're not watching this on LankanTutor.com, we do suggest you do so, as it has a bunch of notes that could help you out. The link is in the descriptions below. And if this video did help you out, don't forget to share it with one of your friends. And as always, thanks for watching. Have a great day.